Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute Namaste Stu Mahamaye Shri Pithe Surapujite Shankha Chakra Gada Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Hari Om. I would like all of you to turn on your video because hardly many people here. So it would be nice to see people's faces rather than the names. So if you don't mind, all of you, please, even if you're not dressed up very well, don't worry. Please turn on your video so we are all in sync with each other. Thank you so much. So today's title is Advice from Scriptures on how to balance work and home life, especially for women. Now, when you look at this title, there is a fallacy here. If you ask any of our swamis or any of our gurus, they will say that why do women have to go to work outside the home? Their work is at home itself. There is so much of work to take care of the family. Isn't that better than doing all these things, Amma? That's what they will ask. But we all know practically that doesn't work. We have to do what we have to do. So directly, there is nothing from the Shastras that I can quote regarding this particular topic. That's why it is just, just putting things together that I want to just present this, how spirituality can help us in determining how to balance between home life and our work. So it's not directly the title is not fitting with what I'm going to say because I don't have quotations from scriptures which says women can go to work from 9 to 4 and then they can be mother from 4 to 6 and then they can be a wife from 6 to 8 and then they can be this or that. That is not possible. So I'm just going to say in general how spirituality can help us in balancing this. Okay, so there is a slight change. This reminds me of this one lecture that I heard. I don't know if you might have known Mae Jemison. So she's an engineer, a doctor, the first Black American astronaut. So many, she's a fantastic woman. And in one of her commencement speeches, she said about this kind of a funny thing. It seems one John Brown died. So when John Brown died, his wife was very devoted to him. So she wrote for obituary a long 1-page, beautiful, things about him, how great he was, and how he has done so much for the society and for everybody and all that. And then she took it to the local newspaper. When the editor saw that, he just looked at it and then he said, "Madam, do you know that each letter will cost you $12? not letter, each word will cost you $12. She looked at it. There are so many words, 12 times that, she just calculated. She said, oh, she didn't want to say anything. She said, oh. And then she took back the paper and she just scratched, something. And then she gave back the paper and it said, John Brown died. So the editor looked at it. And then he said, Madam, I forgot to tell you, there is a 7-word minimum in this. Yeah? 7 words minimum. So then 7 words. Okay. She took it back, wrote some more, some things, and then gave it back. So what did it say at the end? John Brown died, red Ford for sale. Okay. So according to what is needed, you have to be able to be flexible to change your modus operandi, how you are working. So very, very clever way of, putting things together. So ever since I heard that, I keep on remembering that for all my speeches. John Brown died, red Ford for sale. How much more can you say? Perfect, So this is how we have to fit our lecture for today. John Brown died, red Ford for sale. Okay, this is my title for today. Ayyo, what is this, Amma? I wouldn't have come if I had known this was the title. Yeah? But then this is what it is. Now, coming to the topic, we say, when does our work day start and when does our home life start? Everything is, so intermingled for us. It's not like men. Men, you say, they have a work, so much and how much to dedicate, etc. You can have like a demarcation. Because other than that, at least most of the men, at least in my age group, they don't seem to be helping the women also. In your age group, maybe there may be some difference. But absolutely, I have no doubt they have nothing else to do except go to office, come back and then eat and go to sleep. So then in that case, how do we differentiate in our work time and our home time? Yeah. So what is the role of a woman? Somewhere I saw W stands for she is a wife. O stands for organizer for everything. Yeah? For everything, she is the organizer. M stands for the mother. Of course, she is the mother all the time, not only for her own children. It looks like for all the neighborhood children also, so many times. And then A stands for the all-knowing, the all-pervading, the all-powerful person that she has to be. Otherwise, she cannot, compete in this world. And then lastly, what does N stand for? It looks like all the time at home, everywhere, she seems to be the nurse. So the woman stands for and then it just continues. She is the contributor to the society. She is a judge for all the fights that are happening at home or in the neighborhood. And then constantly a cook. And then any time of the day or night, a chauffeur. We all know that. A counselor. So many times as the children become teenagers, it looks like we are just keeping on counseling them. That's all we are doing. Of course, a cleaner, a janitor, you name it. A washer, dryer, whatever you want to say. It just goes on and on and on and on. So what is the role of a woman? I don't know. Whatever you take it to be, whatever is your most prominent one, you can take it. So in this situation, we say, what are our priorities? Yeah. So as women, our dilemma is, should our family be our priority or should our work, that should be our priority? What should be our priority? So I will tell you for this a small story of a naughty boy. What was that naughty boy doing? That naughty boy one day, not one day, all the time getting into trouble. And one day mom had to go to work. So the father was left with that, it was a holiday, and the father was left with him to take care of him. Anything he asked the son to do, he will just, somehow he'll just finish it and then come back. So he didn't know how to engage him. He was just frustrated. He didn't know what to do. So what he did, when the son was in the bathroom, he took a big picture of from a magazine of the map of the whole world. He took the map of the whole world and he cut it into just many pieces. As many pieces as he could do. Small, everything. And so there were lots of pieces now. Just mixed it up nicely. It was good paper, so it all remained intact. And then after that, by the time the son came out, Dad, what can I do? Now what can I do? Now what can I do? So the same way, so he keeps on bugging. So the dad said, okay, beta, now here you have all these pieces. Put them together like a puzzle, and then it's a world map. So you cannot miss anything. You have to do it properly. Do it on this, some kind of a pad he gave, and then on this you do it. So the son said, oh, lot of pieces, Dad. Said, yeah, you are so smart, you can do it. So he said, yeah. So then he took it away. The father sat down very happily with a cup of coffee. Finally, I get to rest because at least it will take him 3-4 hours to come back. Mario, then I can give him some lunch or something like that. Till that time, I will be very happy. So he's nicely sitting and trying to watch some TV. Lo, 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the boy is back with his pad, and then he has the whole map intact. The father was just beside himself. He said, whoa, what happened? How did you do this? He couldn't believe it. He's just looking. Yes, all, Africa is there. Yeah, America is there. India is there. Everything is perfect. So he didn't know what to do. So he said, how did you do this? He himself was intrigued because he couldn't have done it. How did my young son do this? Then the boy laughed. He said, Dad, you don't know anything. Yeah. So like all the children say, but Dad, you don't know anything. On the other side of this magazine, on this paper, there was a picture of a man. So I did the whole, the whole puzzle with the man's picture. So it is not a difficult thing. The eyes go where they are, the nose goes where it is. And so there was no need to think at all. You just put the man together and then you flip it over, and then there you have the whole of the world map. So it says, in and through our daily work, if we take, this, we just don't understand what is the one harmonious thing behind all our life. When we learn to see our inner core, when we learn to know how to be in touch with inner core, as long as we are outward looking, this doesn't, we see only that map. But when you go inside, then you see that, the picture of the man. Like that, you see the essence and the uniformity of the inner core of our personality. So it is told that in and through our daily chores, if we take time to get in touch with the spiritual core, and then if you when you keep looking outside, then you don't lose sight of this inner core, then our vision becomes extremely clear. Yeah? So the sum and substance of this is that if spirituality is made as our priority, then everything else will fall into its own place by its own self. You don't have to think at all. It just happens because then you know what is the priority. Then you don't get confused. No? That's what we find, that whenever people don't have the spirituality as the core, as the main thing in their life, they will be always lost. Yeah? So we should remember the story of the naughty boy. and this map of the world. And always keep whenever you are in some kind of a dilemma, remember, how did he solve it? This is I won't go into the details what happened to the father, how he was plucking his hair because he couldn't take it anymore. All those things we won't go into the rest of the story, but this much if we can take it, that if we have some harmony behind, then everything else falls into our right space. So in our Hinduism, the reason I started the whole lecture was with the three Devis. Okay? So what a beautiful concept. Yeah? All these Devis, they have such beautiful, symbolism. Right? That's why I have the Durga picture behind me. Durga Devi has got 8 hands. Does she only take care of her children, and then does she only clean the house, and does she only do what women are supposed to do? Ayayyo, no, 5 of her hands. You look, I'm not making it up, right? 5 of her hands, job, work. Her work, what is her work? Killing all the bad things, unhighlighting all the negativities. So you can, I don't know what those different things are, but you can tell me. So different weapons for different kinds of problems. Yeah, only 3 are there for her that we say. One is giving the varam, that is whatever, blessing everybody. The other one having the peace, that is the lotus or some flower in her hand. And then the third one is the shankh, that is the conch, etc. So you can say that yes, she does her own, whatever she has to do at home, she has to do. But other than that, she's always ready with her other weapons. So Durga Devi, modern Durga Devi, we are all, right? So this is a very old picture that I have. I don't know if you can see this. So this has the lady sitting on a bicycle, and she has all these different hands. Each hand is doing one thing. She's a doctor, so she has stethoscope in one hand, and then she has to be all the time looking at the clock. The children are not waking up, so she has to wake them up. One boy's shirt is in one hand, and then it just goes on, all different, comb in one hand, and then another one, vacuum cleaner. So all the things are happening with all her 8 hands. So you can see that at that time itself they knew that women will have to do all the jobs. So then they have this beautiful picture, the symbolism of Durga Devi. Not only Durga Devi. So we all know, very famous, Durga Devi is very famous. So we have all the 8 hands, Ashtabhuja, Ayi, Ananda. And then Ashtalakshmi we say. We all know that. Ashtalakshmi, 8 forms she takes. Yeah. So we are all one, but then we take so many forms. In so many, I'm laughing because I shouldn't be saying this in a women's group, but then I'm saying this because somebody said, yeah, I know the Devi comes as, Shantamurti and so many different murtis, but my wife seems to be in the form of Bhadrakali all the time, Amma, what to do, no? So something like that. So yes, you have to be a Bhadrakali also. You have to be all kinds of forms. So we all know we can take different forms, but we know we are not that. We are spiritually, we are that Brahman. Once I know that, all this is only an act. Yeah, we are just doing this part because as a mother, I have to be strict. As a patient, I have to be listening to the doctor. As a doctor, I have to be patiently listening to the patient, etc., etc. Whatever we have to do, we have to change the form, and we are adept at that because we are all Ashtalakshmis. And then Ashtabhuja Ayi, that is that Durga Devi. And then now about Saraswati, beautiful. 4 hands, this Vishala has got the beautiful image of Saraswati behind her. We can see only 2 hands are, doing her, veena. The other 2 also she has to study. Otherwise, she is the goddess of learning. So all the time, her book is always open in one hand. Anytime reference, this one is the reference. She has got it at the tip of her hand. Yeah. The other one, all the time she's doing japa. The japa mala is always ready. Yeah. You see all this. These are all beautiful, beautiful icons in our Hindu tradition to tell us that we are not restricted to any one kind of, cookie cutter job. We can take up any job and we can be very adept. That's why men, there are a couple of men here anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let them also listen. So they get jealous of us, and that's why they just start, complaining and all that. But then what a woman can do, nobody can do. Like Guruji once said, can any man become the mother? Can anyone carry the baby in their womb? No, you cannot do it. So, which is a great, great thing that the Lord has given us. And I don't know why we are called weaker sex. Yeah, I don't know why. So anyway, so we are called like that. But for some of the people, they take advantage of that also. That is also wrong. So we have to show that we are not that. We can do anything and everything very well. So after having said all this about all our Devis and all that, I was just going through the Devi Mahatmyam. Yeah? In the Devi Mahatmyam, there is this portion where the Devi says, I am the Mahamaya. So the Maya who puts everybody into this delusion of thinking that you are the Jiva, or that you are suffering, etc. But how does she bring them out? Only when the person comes to the refuge, to take refuge in her, then she says, I'm the one who I'm the one who will take you out of this Maya also. So she is like, you must have heard Vigneshwara, no? Lord Ganapati. We say he is the Vignakarta and Vignaharta. That means he gives obstacles and then he takes us out of it. Now, what is the meaning of that? Why does Devi put us into this Maya and then, take us out of it? See, if there are no obstacles, if there are no difficulties, already to be spiritual is so difficult. People would rather be drinking and, watching and then, whiling away their time. Unless there is some kind of a trouble, you will not even think of the Lord. Remember, every time there was a trouble in our lives, that is the time we became more and more wiser. No? So Kunti Devi, when Lord Krishna was leaving Dwaraka, Kunti Devi goes to Lord Krishna and then she cries, oh Lord, she says. So then the Lord says, Amma, what do you want? I'm leaving. But because he has been with them for so many years. So then he says, what do you want? Then whatever you want, you ask, I will give. She says, give me troubles so that whenever I think of you, you will definitely come to me. I know that. So what a great mother she was to ask for such a boon. Who would ever ask like that? So why I'm saying this is the Devi gives us trouble. Devi puts us into Maya. And then once we understand her, she is the one who is going to be like a mother. She is the mother and she is the one who is going to help us out. So she is there for us all the time. So all these things, if we keep remembering, and then in that same Devi Mahatmyam, there is one beautiful 11th chapter. And in that, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu, and then there are so many, different Chetanetya Bhidhiyate, Matru Rupena Samsthita, and then all those things, there are different aspects of the Devi. You know that there are positive and there are negative also. So the whole world is never only positive. The world is full of negative and positive. Somebody said, one kid said, wish there was only ice cream and cookies in world. I don't know why this broccoli and why this all these other things. I don't know why people have to eat. When some good things like ice cream and chocolate and cookies and all, why not just have something that is good? So we all know what will happen. First morsel of sweet is good. Second, 3, 4, 5, 10th one, you will start vomiting. We all know that. Life is full of all this, troubles and also this, so that we will appreciate when, just like where we are in Michigan, people say, who will live in Michigan? How much bad weather all the time. But how do you people live there? Then how much we appreciate when the Vasanta Kalam comes, when the spring comes. aha, vasantaval lokahitam charantaha. We really love it. And then we never used to like fall season, because then it used to remind us of the coming winter season. Until one Swami came. Which Swami? No, none other than our famous Swami Ramakrishnananda. And then you should have seen him going nuts with the colors of autumn, of the fall. He would go to each tree and look at it. Yo, look at this color, Amma. This is yellow, and this is brown, this is red, this is orange. And then he would start talking to those leaves because he could not contain his happiness. Then we understood, oh my God, there is so much beauty. We have never seen it because we are colored with the idea, ayyo, winter is coming. Ayyo, winter is coming after 2 months, idiot. But why are you? But then we are always thinking of the negativity. We are never thinking of the positive side of every difficulty also. So only when Swamiji came and he showed us, we all became aware of this beauty of nature. So what I'm trying to say is, that is why in Devi Mahatmyam also, Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Nidra Rupena Samsthita. She is in the form of Nidra. If we don't have sleep, then what will happen? We all keep complaining when we don't have any proper sleep also. And then the Devi who is always in the form of delusion. So many different things that you say, why? But this is why, like how some people eat some payasam and then they will have some pickle next to it. I don't know, you have seen that or not. And then they will take the finger and they will, now another, okay, bring me some more payasam. So what does that mean? You need the variety in eating these sweets or whatever you are doing. So life is full of all that. And if we understand that workplace also, it will give you a balanced outlook in life. Unless we have that, we cannot deal with all the problems. Now, I also want to remind us, it looks like from the birth itself, the Lord has made the female species as though to balance the lives. At least in our time when I was growing up, my brothers didn't have to learn music. My brothers didn't have to learn dancing. My brothers didn't have to know stitching. My brothers never went to any of these, crochet work, etc. I had to go to everything. I used to get so jealous. I'm one between two brothers. So then when they are treated like that, they just, you study. I am also studying, but then that is not recognized. Hey, did you practice your music or not? And all the boys in the neighborhood would tease me because I had to get up at 5 o'clock. I'm not joking, okay? This was really the truth. 5 o'clock, and I had to practice this Akara Sadhakam. Means what? You have to just sing like that. So all the boys in the neighborhood will tease me. I used to think, what a miserable family I've been born into. What is this? But later on now, I think, oh my God, what a great thing it was that even at this age, I'm able to sing. People can't even talk at my age, but I'm just saying that how to balance everything has been inbuilt in us. Even though nowadays the children don't have to, there is not much of a difference between what the girls and the boys do, but still girls have to look pretty. They have to, you always say, hey, did you comb your hair? We always ask the girl. The boy is just coming back like that, but you don't say anything. So you all know how we are all, learning to balance so many things. Of course, when we get married, and then getting the children, and then doing all the things, like Gurudev used to say, for the first child, it seems the mother doesn't know how to cook and take care of the child, and then also, clean the house, etc. But as she goes through 2-3 children, she just becomes so adept. 5th child, one in the hand, the other holding on to her, and then she has the currenti. She's cooking. So she's stirring something, and then the phone is on her shoulder. Yeah, really? She's doing some kind of all kind of gossip also. That also she does. And on the side, TV is also on. Oh, look at that woman. All these things. So how many things that Ashtavadhani we call? No, 8 things at one time. Yeah. A woman is what? Not even Ashtavadani. It's even 100 Avadani, So something like that. So we are all always adapted doing different things. So everything seems to be coming naturally to us. So let us not complain, whenever we have to work and we have to see. If we again and again remember, the background should be spirituality. If there is spirituality, then our life becomes more and more easy to live. The challenges in life are endless. When the children were small, we thought, once they are a little bit bigger, when they are able to tell us what is bothering them, it would be so nice. That happened. Nothing changed. The problems became more. And then we think a little more when they are a little bit independent, when they know that they have to go to school. No, that became even more difficult. Teenager, don't even talk about it. Afterwards, Appa, they know so much more than us. We can't even tell them anything. Then we start saying, it was so nice when they were very small. No, you were crying at that time. Just remember, yeah? So everything is forgotten and we just keep on making our own dreams like that. It is never like that. Challenges are always there and they become more when your children will get married and they get children. You think, Appa, now it will be so. No. Their problem becomes your problem, and yeah. So there is no end to it. So we have to learn how to deal with this. So in the meantime, the spouse problem, the everybody, mother, parents problem, everything. So facing a solution, finding a solution, for each one, not possible. Like we say in computer, we used to say, Alt, Control, Alt, Delete or something like that. No, all the three. Tank, you have to just press them together. Then only everything will get, erased. Something like that. Everything you have to do at once. So we have to have the right vision of life. For the philosophy of life, we have to have the right vision of life. Then only the right thinking comes. The right vision, we just don't even know what the right vision is. One blind man went to the Lord and he said, Lord, is there anything worse than losing the eyesight? Because he didn't have eyesight. So he asked, oh God, is there anything worse than losing the eyesight? The Lord replied, yes, when you lose your vision. Yeah? So when you lose your vision, you are not able to really balance anything in life. Everything becomes a problem for you. So Atharvana Veda says, through the spiritual knowledge, all the members of the family prevent antagonism, between each other. Otherwise, even within the family, we have all these differences of opinion, and then we take it to heart, and then we make it like a big thing. It is not at all a big thing. This is the common thing. When two people have to live together, then there will be misunderstanding because each one is an individual by ourselves. So all that we have to learn is how to accommodate all the people. Yeah? The more we can accommodate, the more we can live in peace. So we know that we love our own family members. Why? Because they are the extension of myself. My child, even though he gives me gali, sometimes, and then you think that, is this my child talking like that? But then we say, okay, he doesn't know. That's because I see myself in him, right? So if we can remember that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is our motto. So if we remember that this entire world is my own family, then I will not hold grudges against anybody. There is a beautiful PowerPoint. I don't know if you have seen that. It says, this man, this professor showed this one, some glass, one thing with water. And he said, now, what am I holding in my hand? And then the children, the student said, oh, a glass of water. Then he said, how much do you think this weighs? And he said, They all said, oh, some 80 grams or 100 grams or 125 grams, something like that. They all were, giving different measures. Then he said, okay, if I keep on holding it for another 1 hour, what will happen? The students didn't understand why he's asking like that. Nothing will happen. It will be the same. He said, okay, if I keep on holding it for 5 hours, what will happen? Then one of the students said, your hand will hurt. That's all. So he said, okay, if I hold it for the whole day, what will happen? Your hand will become numb. Maybe your muscles will be pulled and you will have a problem with your hand. So he said, that's what we all are doing. We keep on holding our grudges, our negative feelings for others for too long. It becomes so heavy that it starts hurting us only. The physical problem comes when we start mentally brooding over our problems. So as women, we have to be extremely careful not to hold anything in the mind for too long. Immediately, try to get rid of these, problems in the mind. And then it'll become lighter and lighter. Okay, you might not do the right job. Sometimes you feel like, if I think for longer, it will be better. But sometimes it is not. So the sooner we get rid of this unnecessary burden on our head, the easier it is to live through this life. So all these things we have to remember. And one more thing, this is going to be my topic for the, for the Mahasamadhi camp. So I cannot disclose all the things. But some of the things that we are going to say about that is that the 3rd chapter Bhagavad Gita, in that it says, what is the role of spirituality in our family life? They say that yadyadacharati shresthaha tattadevetaro janaha sa yat pramanam kurute lokaha tad anuvartate. That means whatever the leader does, the rest of the group always follows. Whether it is good or bad or whatever it is. And we immediately say, I'm not a leader. I'm just a nobody. No. At home, I'm the mother. And the children are looking up to me. Everywhere we are somebody who somebody is looking up to. And if I do a mistake and I don't follow what is right, and then I expect others to do good to me, how does that work? It does not work. People just do whatever we do. The children are exactly like how the mother is bringing them up. When my children were young, like all the other children, when they were very young, let me put it in quotations, very young, the children think that the mother is the best cook, their mother, when they are very young. And then the other kids, when they go to their house and they eat the food, they used to feel so bad for those children. These kids would come back and say, I don't know, Amma, poor kids, they think that their mom cooks well, but how horrible it was, So then, I would just laugh in my, under my breath, because we all know that's what my children think, that I'm the best cook, and their children think that because that's all they have eaten. Once they go out and they start eating, ayyo, what does my mama, you don't know, you please go and learn. All these things come only afterward. But when they are very young, that's why I said in quotations. So when they are very young, they always think that mom is the right thing in everything. So they follow. And if I'm saying some untruth, like Gurudev used to say, the man is sitting, on the sofa, somebody is at the door, and he knows, he has seen through the window who has come, and he has to give back the money that he had taken. So he doesn't want to see him. So he goes inside and then tells the son, you go and tell Appa is not home. So if the child were to go and tell a lie on behalf of the father, how does the father then, want how can he say, you tell the truth? He will ask back immediately, but you told me to tell a lie the other day. Now, so this is how it is. We don't even know little things. That's okay. No, we tell our children, it's all right. You can say like that, So we teach them how to tell lies, and we call it, we justify it, and we say that that's okay to say white lies and whatever we call it. There are different nice ways of putting some sugar on it and, making it look different and all. But whatever it is, for children, it is a lie. That's all. So unless I'm doing the right thing, so it is not possible to, this is really very funny. One lady had, I'm not saying anything, I don't have anything against this, but I'm just saying, she had cut her hair like a very short, and then her daughter had long, nice hair. She wanted to cut, and she's coming and telling me, Sharda ji, please tell her, why should she cut her hair? How will it look? And then I'm going, what about you? So this is just some examples that we do one thing, and then we expect our children not to follow. Yad yad acharati shreshtaha tat tat eva itaro janaha. The other people will completely, they will just copycats. They are going to do that. Sa yat pramanam kurute lokaha tad anuvartate. Especially for a leader, if I am a leader of the society, I better behave properly. I cannot say, I cannot just lead my life any which way and then think that it will be okay. It is not okay. So these are all some of the points under this. And then what is the role of spirituality in workplace also? That also I want to bring into your attention. So once we have spirituality in our lives, then we can keep a cool head. We know under all circumstances how to keep a cool head. When there is a decision making, some kind of a crisis at work, and people start jumping up and down, we know that's what most of the people like to do. To show their anxiety, they have to show that they are so worried about everything. But you don't have to do that. You can be cool and calm and collected, and then you can give your opinion. In fact, the people at work like people who are calm, and then they give the right kind of advice. So if you keep good relationships with your co-workers, that is also, all these things can happen when you have spirituality, because in spirituality we say the same Atman, the same Brahman is in everybody. Whoever it is only the extraneous things that are different. When we said in our Vivek Chudamani class also, we said Tat Tvam Asi. How can it be Tat can be Tvam? When you strip off all the extraneous things, the core of everyone is the same as the Paramatma. When I am that, how can I behave like this? Yeah. So this is what the whole spirituality is about. It's so beautiful. In no other religion you can get this. Only in our Hinduism we can get about this ultimate reality. What is it? So having been exposed to this, we have to understand that everyone makes mistakes because they are not understanding. But I have understood. Why not I be like that? Yeah, they may not appreciate. Doesn't matter. Who cares if they don't appreciate? It doesn't matter at all. I am very happy to live like this. Yeah. So we have to, for understanding priorities also, it helps you. And then to take all the things in the proper stride, not blow it out of proportion. There are some people in our group, any little thing, they'll call, Sharda ji, what happened? She said, blah, 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 like that, non-stop, they will talk like that. That is just making themselves become miserable. Nobody else is getting miserable. The one who is making it becomes more miserable. Yeah, that's all it is. So, see, there is I might have told you this, this thing, Gurudev used to joke about this. So, one day in the office, the boss called this guy and then said, close the door, sat down. And he's worried what he is going to say. Your job has been, your work ethics, everything has been so good. I'm going to give you 5% raise. Don't tell anybody, because this year, as you know, we have not made any profit. Only you are getting this 5%. So I'm giving you this, but Please enjoy and, congratulations. And thanks a lot for all the contributions that you have made to our company. It has, blah, 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 blah. So happy this man comes to his cubicle, and then he calls his wife very privately. And he says, honey, what? 5% increase. I thought he was going to fire me when he asked me to close the door and all that. And now I'm going to get an increase in what? So, tonight we'll go to whatever, some Andiamo. So I don't know, whatever big, some restaurant. No, you just book, 2 places for us. We'll go today. We'll celebrate. Very happy. So she's also very happy. She's dressed up and all that. In the meantime, the next cubicle guy, he is also whispering. And this guy goes near the wall and puts his ear. What is he saying? He is calling his wife. Honey, what? I'm going to say some good news in our company. Nobody is getting a raise and only I'm getting 10% raise. Can you believe? That's it. This man who was so happy 1 second ago, where did the happiness go? Out. Calls his wife, cancel that. No Andiamo, no nothing. I'm not coming anywhere. So how our happiness depends upon what others are getting, this is the whole stupidity in our lives. We all have to remember, we all are doing it. It's not like somebody is doing it, you and I. Yeah. Whenever we become miserable, this is what it is. So we have to understand that life is not that bad. What we make out of it is what the life is. But there are some real problems. I'm not saying that it is not there, but 99% we are all making it up and then making it worse and worse and worse, whatever it more than what it is. So a spiritual person, please make a note of this, is always a happy person. A spiritual person is always a happy person. We can keep on repeating it because he or she has understood that Ananda, that I am the repository of Ananda, but I have thought myself to be something else, and then everything else is bothering me because I have not understood what I am. So what does spirituality do to me? Give me happiness. People think they have to look very sad, very sullen. If I'm a spiritual person, you cannot laugh. Ha ha ha. No. You have to say, ha ha ha. That's all you can laugh. Yeah. So this is silly. No. So when Gurudev used to laugh, we all know. He used to have a open-hearted laugh, and other people, other religious leaders will look at him. Actually, because they didn't know. This Swami had realized himself. What does he worry about anything? So all these things we have to keep in our mind. So the shloka that is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 238 was Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naibam papam avapsyasi. So keeping everything in the proper stride. If you keep facing the problems in your life, nothing will touch you. You can never be sad at all. So in conclusion, we as women are inherently spiritual. Lord has made us that way. In fact, he has been partial. We think men have more than women. No, it is not true. Even Guruji used to say, that women by nature we are spiritual. The heart is already, full of love. Yeah. So there is no other way than that. So we are already one step ahead. And then for a harmonious life, family life, whatever, work life, the spirituality should be the central theme in our life. If we are guided by that, there cannot be any problems. And as parents, I'm just recapitulating, we have to be role models for our children, for the whole family. And if you are leading a Chinmaya mission, or if you are teaching in the Chinmaya mission, we have to be like that. We cannot say, no, this is a holiday, so I'm not dressed up, so I'm like this. No. If you have to be a leader, you are a leader always. I have to dress up properly. As I told you yesterday, how if I go to the swimming pool, I have my own, swimming dress. If I have to go to the tennis court, that is different. Going to sleep is different. So when we are in a spiritual gathering, we have to have that kind of we have to know. We are leading our whole family. We are leading our whole entire society also, especially those of us who have come out of India. What now India is even worse than what it is here. But then we all know that we have to maintain this and we have to understand our responsibilities. And then this will bring some balance even in the workplace. It will not make us become unnecessarily worried about all the things. And first and foremost, spirituality should be priority. All the other things then will fall into its own place. Getting up in the morning, being aware of the Lord's presence, thanking the Lord, doing namaskar, taking a shower and then putting the lamp and then doing namaskar. All the children are all watching. Are we doing all this or not? So we have to make sure that we are leading the right life. So with that, I'm going to stop, because if there is any question or any other comments or anything, we'll take it up. If there are no questions, don't make it up. As long as you are happy, I'm also happy. I just thought at least 5 minutes I should give in case there is anybody with any kind of question. If there is no question, that's also fine. So with that, I will conclude, and then if there is anything else, we'll continue. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Hari Om, Amma. There is one question in the chat box.
Oh, I didn't see. Your example of the pay rise reminded me of this example that I use in work. Is that the one or no?
No, it says, Namaste, Amma. Thank you for the wonderful session. My question is, what is the cause of ignorance?
You should have attended last Viveka Chudamani class. The person did not. I don't see that. No. Thank you for your. My question is, what is the cause of ignorance? Yeah, that comes in. It's a law. It's a big. Who is this?
Sharmila Shah.
So you didn't attend, huh? You didn't attend Vivek Chudamani?
No, Amma, I attended. Actually, my question is the very first time, right? Like, I understood like the prarabdha takes over and we keep repeating the life. The very first time, how does the ignorant, like, why is when the God created the world, when the manifestation occurred, why did we become ignorant then, like the very first time?
So, there is no first time in this. In creation, there is no first time. Because it is in ignorance that we are all living. In ignorance, there is no first time. Like when you are dreaming, is there any relevance to time? No. Suddenly, you will be in India. How did I get here? I don't know. 1 second ago, I was talking in America, and then next second, I'm in India. Then how did that happen? Because it's all in ignorance, it happens. Yeah. So when there is ajnanam, there is no first ajnanam. It is there always. Yeah. Only thing we can concentrate on is people always want to know all these things. What is Maya? What is ignorance? It will only put us in a circle. You just keep on going round and round. There is no answer to it. So the best thing is to how to come out of this ignorance. That's all we can do. And once you get out of this ignorance, then you laugh at it and say, I just was, didn't know. And I just thought like that.
Okay. All. Yeah, thank you, Amma.
Amma, Poonam ji has a question. She raised a hand. Poonam ji, go ahead, please.
You can unmute.
Namaste, Amma. Okay. Very nice sessions. Thank you for doing this. So my question is, how you gave the example, like we have to be role models and we shouldn't say, oh, go tell them your dad is not home and all that. So, we have made so many mistakes through our lives. And like how, for example, this mistake, then how do we now change and become the role model for our kids? Or is it too late now? Our kids are adults and all that.
No, it's never too late. It's never too late, because even though we have changed the roles, we may not be, the young mothers or, young children and all that. But even now, we are role models for, the next generation of people. So we have to remember that it never stops till we die. Like Gurudev used to be so neat and so everything was perfect till his body dropped. No, he never thought, now I'm too old, I don't have to. No, it's not like that. We are always a role model for, at least if not for others, for ourselves. Our mind becomes more and more clear when we take the responsibility. So it's never too late. Yeah.
Hari Om Amma. Aarti ji has a question in the chat box. I can read it for you. Namaste. At workplace, if we are surrounded by non-spiritual people, being happy with any type of behavior makes people think we are weak. How do you explain that?
Yeah. So this is a common question. People always say, wouldn't people take me as a, what we call a foot rug? What is it called? Yeah, something
Doormat.
like doormat. So wouldn't people be walking all over me if I'm being so good and all that? See, if we are going to worry like that, we can never be good. Yeah? The goodness itself makes us understand that I have stood for my principles. And actually, those people who make fun of us in the beginning, they slowly start coming around. And we have seen that, because we all have gone through that. So I don't want to take my own example because it will be like boasting. But this is what happens at work, because in the beginning, people will think you are weak, but slowly they come to understand that no, you're not weak, that you are standing for your principles. And they, in fact, come to you for advice later. So this will happen. We have to have faith in our scriptures. The Shraddha should be there. We said, Shastrasya Guruvakyasya Satya Buddhi Avadharana is Shraddha. That has to come. Then once you have that, then you will understand that nobody can take you for a ride. Because whenever it is wrong, you just say it. It's not like you're not going to say, but you are saying it not in an abrasive way. The way you say it is totally different from all what others say. Gurudev used to shout at us. I told you when that when that Durvara, Samsara, Sampasana, so I didn't even say it properly. Right in front of thousands of people, he shouted. But, even though it hurts you, but you know that it is for your good that he is saying. And you know what the actual meaning is. So you are so grateful. Now I thank him for that. So you understand the greatness of a person, and then that changes. So we should not change for that. So you have to say it in a way that they also understand that it is not abrasive. Yeah. Yeah, this is the common question. People get worried that people will take you for granted. In my house, that's what happens. People always say all those things. But no, once you are stuck to that, and then you have to say it when something is wrong, you say, no, I don't subscribe to that. I don't think that's true. I want to be like this. I want to be a good person. That's all. Okay.
Anyone has any more questions? We reached the end of our time limit, but still, it's I don't know, Amma's next schedule. We don't want to, so it's 11. If everyone is okay, then we can close it. Otherwise, if you have any question, please unmute and quickly ask.
All right. Okay, it's all done. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody's hand, right?
No, yeah.
Okay. So thank you so much. Yeah. Really enjoyed being here and really enjoyed, even though I thought there was nothing much to say, there are so many things to say. So, yeah. All right. So see you, Vishala. See you, everybody. Thanks a lot for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie. Hari Om. Thank you, Auntie.
Just like they said,
thank you.
To Pittsburgh, I'm also giving you an open invitation to come to Ann Arbor also. We are also There are some very good people here also, and we have a good ashram here, and so many activities are also happening. So our most famous, if you want to know, this Ganesh can tell you, we have Thanksgiving masala dosa, which nobody else does it. We have been doing it for now 30 years. So every Thanksgiving we do masala dosa, and everybody comes, and all men make the masala dosas in a row in this in the ashram, and it has got, so what is the significance, like how stuffed turkey, so this is stuffed masala dosa. And how there is cranberry, we have cranberry chutney, and then we have pumpkin halwa, not pie. So all the things that they have, we have the equivalent to that, plus our own bhel puri and all those different things. And then everybody enjoys it because it's all like a yajna, So we chant all the Shanti mantras and 15th chapter Gita, and then we have this beautiful time. So you all can come, and then you can enjoy. You can ask. I thought he would show some picture from that yesterday, but he forgot to show that. So
yesterday I was thinking about that, Amma. It was such a lovely time that we had during that year that we came for the Thanksgiving dinner.
Amma, there's also a movie, I think, after that, correct? After the evening session, there's
after that, we have a nice movie to show for everybody, that which is good for all the family and all that. So everybody just enjoys that Thanksgiving. So not only do we have for great things for the soul, but also for the body also. So you all can come and then enjoy everything.
And Antakshari also. So in case that will also entice you guys.
Okay.
Our next trip, Amma, our next trip.
Okay, good.
We'll see you in person next satsang, we are hoping. So we have a Balaji here too. So the real Balaji, SV temple. So we want Amma here.
And Amma will see you at Mahasamadhi next.
Correct. Yeah. You all the best to you all.
Jai Shri Krishna, Sarda Ben. Jai Shri Krishna.
જોયું ને તમે હમણાં વિડીયોમાં છો તમે?
મારા જરા કાન દુખે છે તો હું બતાવું જો મેં મારો સ્કાર્ફ પહેરવો પડ્યો છે. ઓકે. જય શ્રી કૃષ્ણ. ચાલો.
હરિઓમ.
હરિઓમ જ્યોત્સના. Bhagini, I have to tell you, I can't say Jyotsna. Jyotsna Bhagini.
It's so great to see my teacher and teacher's teacher.
Generations of teachers.
Pranams and Hariom.
Pranams. Hariom. All right. See you all. Hariom.
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 Hariom. Hariom.
Hariom.